ready to actually make some art today. I'm so excited to be back streaming. I did like a little mini stream on Instagram yesterday, and I was like, oh, I really need to do a Twitch stream because I miss hanging out with you guys and chatting and making art in general. It's just been so kind of crazy the last, well, more than a month, because like 2 months. So the month before I went to Disneyland was all prep work. I was prepping hundreds of prints and counting them and packing them, and our whole house got taken over by all of my inventory, and my poor husband was having to play Fortnite while being surrounded by a big nest of my prints. So that was a lot of intense prep work, plus I was having little mini anxiety attacks about this whole thing about painting live in front of people at Wonderground Gallery every weekend, not to mention taking a flight every weekend. I'm not like I don't mind flying, but I don't love it. So it was like a lot of preemptive stress before the event itself. And then I had a total blast. I actually had way more fun than I thought possible when I was at Wonderground Gallery every weekend. And I was actually very sad when it came to an end. I was like, oh my god, that's it. It's done. Oh my god. But yeah, so then after that I got super sick, and I had a sinus infection and cold from just all the planes and travel and everything. So I'm finally kind of coming out of my coma stupor to actually create some new artwork. So I'm so excited to be a bit back to my regular routine. So who do we have here today? We have Baby Cow. I do not think I've seen you here before, Baby Cow, so welcome. It's nice to meet you. And Creatures from Starlight, which I don't know if you can tell this, Creatures from Starlight, but I have your latest work featured over here. I'm going to give you guys, I'm not going to embarrass her, but she is such a good, she's such an amazing artist. So I'm going to show you this piece that she gave me at Wonderground Gallery. It's so freaking gorgeous, and I just absolutely adore it. I have a very, I have a growing collection of your originals now. So follow her at Creatures from Starlight on Instagram as well, because she's amazing. And I have to show you guys this other fan art that I got. Whoops. Okay. Stay. From a new little fan that I made at Wonderground, and her name was Roma. And she and I talked about how unicorns were our favorite animal. And when she went to dinner with her family, she insisted that the waiter give her crayons and a paper so that she could make me a little fan art and bring it back to me before she had to go home. So this is one of my favorites as well. It's so cute. So I'm surrounded by some favorite art. I have one other fan art I got that I want to show you by my artist friend Ian, who happens to know that I'm a huge, hopefully you guys can see it in this case, I'll keep it in there, Fannibal. So I'm a big fan of the Hannibal TV show that since got canceled, but I loved it. And he did this incredible Mads Mikkelsen art trading card for me, which I adore. So thank you, Ian. I freaking love it. It's right here next to my Punisher card that I also have on my shelf over here. Yeah, so anyways, who else do I have here today? Best Nightmares. Have you been here before? That sounds familiar, but I'm not sure if I've seen you here in the chat. I have Midnight Doll is back, my dear friend Midnight Doll, and Eve Artsy. Hello, Eve Artsy. I think you might be new too. Anyways, yeah, so thank you guys for joining me. And if you didn't know already, today I am working on my Frida Kahlo tribute piece that is going to be in a Frida Kahlo tribute art show at La Bodega Gallery in San Diego, and she's going to be premiering on July 7th, I think, is the opening date. So I've got my work cut out for me to get this in on time, but I am super, super excited. So yeah, I have been a long time Frida fan, but I wanted to brush up a little bit on my Frida knowledge, so I did quite a bit of reading about her. I rewatched the Frida film starring Salma Hayek, which I actually happen to love. I think she did an incredible homage to her, and I really like how the film kind of incorporates her artwork and everything. And my mom had gotten me a few years ago for my birthday this really beautiful book called I Will Never Forget You, and it is these very rare photographs of Frida Kahlo. So this isn't actually her paintings, but these are photos by Nicholas Murray, and he was, I guess you'd say, a lover of Frida's, and he took some of these most famous photographs of her. So this is really, really a beautiful reference, and I love how some of these just really kind of capture her in her natural habitat and stuff. So yeah, this was really a great glimpse, and there's him there, into her daily life. And of course I looked at a lot of her paintings. Actually, there's some really cool behind the scenes photographs in here of Frida and one of her paintings, and then also Nick there. So yeah, this really, I love this book a lot. I like some of these really like casual ones of her too, with like her hair down and everything. So I love Frida. I'm a big fan of her. Her story is just so like beautiful and tragic, and she was just like, she didn't like to play by the rules, and I don't know. I think she was a very, very intriguing, interesting woman. And so when the opportunity came up to do an homage to her, I kind of geeked out, and I was like, okay, this is the time, because I've been planning on doing it, but I just never like seemed to find the right moment to. So when I got invited to be part of the show, I was like, okay, this is it. I'm doing it. I'm doing Frida. So this is my sketch here. So most of you guys have seen this, and I'm finally happy with it, because I was actually struggling with this one quite a bit, because it's different when you're trying to pay an homage to an artist, number one, and their likeness, number two, and a little bit of how she created art at the same time, because her paintings had a lot of symbolism, and most of them were about her personal life and things that she was going through. She suffered with a lifetime of pain because of a terrible accident she was in at only 18. And so a lot of them reflected sort of physical pain, heartbreak, her relationship with Diego Rivera, some of her favorite things and animals and nature and that sort of thing. So I really didn't want to copy an existing work of hers, because I just feel like that'd be a little bit dishonest, because I think she created from the heart and what she was feeling. So I didn't really want to do that per se. I really wanted to create an original piece that is sort of my tribute to her, if that makes sense. So I was very excited but intimidated by that idea at the same time, because I love to kind of tell a story with my characters, but I don't usually have like a whole lot of symbolism per se. Like she didn't necessarily call herself a surrealist, but a lot of people categorize her work as surrealist. So I definitely wanted to have a little bit of that weird, surreal, dreamlike quality incorporated as well. So I went through a few thumbnails, and some of them felt a little bit too contrived, and I really didn't want to just repeat her iconography just because I have seen a lot of Frida art that's like, okay, that's a slightly different version of what she already did. So I struggled with that for several days. I don't think I have my thumbnails close by, but I can show you guys that on a later video. But I did just some kind of little, I do have them. Okay, so I started with, to give you guys an idea here. So I started with this. I knew that I wanted to get, a stylized likeness of her down first, and so that was like the most important thing to me. And so I focused on that first, so I did that sketch, and then I scanned that in, and I just printed out a bunch of her heads here, and then I lightly kind of just tried sketching some different ideas, and I loved how she used this theme of like a red ribbon, that created this really nice movement, a lot of her pieces. Some of them feel more like veins or some kind of bodily, that sounds wrong, bodily parts, I guess you'd say. So I liked that she did use that a lot. I thought about incorporating a deer head or maybe antlers, but then I saw a lot of interpretations of her with antlers, which I don't know, I feel like that's been done quite a bit. So then I kind of strayed away from that. And so oddly enough, I was frustrated with all these and I was like, I don't like any of those ideas. I suck as an artist. I'm gonna quit. But then I was seriously, so then I scanned her, I went back to Photoshop and I just started like seriously just like playing around, and I just started like scribbling lines because I was just getting like frustrated. And then I was like, oh, I created this sort of like weird line work that, and I was like, that almost looks like a lung. Like the veins and like ventricles and arteries of the lung. And I was like, I like how that looks. So then I referenced some actual drawings of the blood lines and lungs, and I kind of created this shape. And then I was like, well, that is kind of like a cool symbolic thing about like breathing new life into Frida and breathing new life into the way she inspires other artists and into the art community. So I kind of liked that symbolic concept as well. So it's sort of an accident. And then I wanted the hummingbirds because I read that that was her favorite animal. So I incorporated them, kind of weaving these veins and extending the bloodline into her hair and out of the composition to connect with other people and keep that flow of creativity, if you will, through in this case, something that symbolizes the veins and blood. And I also have here a hummingbird skull around her neck because the afterlife, somebody mentioned Coco earlier, and I absolutely love the version of Frida in Coco, because I really like to think of her that way, that she's finally without pain and she's creating art and just living fabulously in the afterlife. So I wanted to symbolize that from her death, from her passing, new life has been reborn, and I wanted her to not look like she's suffering. I was hard because so many of her paintings are so like there's so much pain in them, and I was like, well, I wouldn't want to necessarily do something just happy just because, but I wanted to kind of also think of this as like a gift to her and a tribute to her, where I see her as no longer suffering, but and a rebirth is something I really wanted. And of course the florals, which she loved wearing flowers in her hair. She loved all types of exotic plants, and that gives me an opportunity for lots of color too, which she also liked. So you heard it here first, the story of how this I came up with this whole thing. Yeah. So anyways, we can actually start painting now. It looks like a few more of you guys may have joined us. So thank you so much. You guys are kind of chatting over there, but if you guys have anything you need me to chime in on, just go ahead and post it in the chat and I'll catch up kind of at the bottom. So yeah, anyways, thank you guys for being here. Hello, Galaxy Crescent. Welcome to the stream. I'm glad you could be with us today. I think you guys are talking about anime stuff, which I'm like the worst anime person right now, because I haven't seen like any recent anime. Like probably the last anime that I followed was like 10 or 15 years ago. But I need to go back to it. Okay, so with all that backstory out of the way, here's kind of where I'm at right now, and I'm pretty excited about these colors. Where she lived, or where actually was her parents' house that she ended up kind of living out the rest of her life, and it is now the Frida Kahlo Museum, is called the Blue House, and I kind of wanted to have that blue as a setting for her in this case. So yeah, so now you guys know what's going on. I gotta decide where I'm gonna start painting first. I do have a little music for us today. We'll see how it is. I'm trying one of those Twitch Spotify playlists, because somebody awesomely suggested that. Mm-mm. Okay.
I'll kiss your mouth, swallow you whole, holding my claim like a moon for the night. We were skinny, just in the room.
Actually, you know what? I'm pretty sure I like the skin tone that I mixed, but I might want to do one more test before I commit to that. So I think I'm going to continue up with these flowers because I kind of started blocking those in. So where I had some blue earlier. So if you guys haven't figured it out, I'm kind of going for a bit of a spectrum here. So I've got a red rose, an orange marigold, and a big yellow, is this a hyacinth? I guess a big yellow hyacinth. Then I've got these little green flowers, and then I'm gonna do like a blue, that bluish gray kind of succulent over there. Mix that up. So let me Creatures from Starlight says, how many entries did you get for your collab contest? I didn't get very many. I was actually surprised. I still haven't, I'm still torn between a few as far as choosing my winner though. So I think it's still I think it's still going to be amazing. I got some really great entries. I didn't get very many overall. I think in hindsight it was actually it was actually a really hard time for people because it was right at the end of the school year, and that thought didn't really occur to me. So a lot of people had like finals and stuff, so I think it was a really kind of a tough time to hold this kind of contest because it took a little bit more work and effort than my usual coloring contest. So yeah, I'm not even sure. I don't know if I think I got 10. But it might not be more than that. It was a pretty low turnout on this second one. But I think we're going to go back to a regular coloring contest next month. So yeah. But anyways, I think it is going to be really cool. I think I narrowed it down to maybe my top 3. So the last decision is always like a little bit tough because they're all like really great and unique ways. So I have to kind of just decide which one that I want to collab with, if you will. So yeah, it's gonna be cool. So thank you to everybody who entered though. I'm super excited with what you guys came up with. Some really interesting ideas actually. Creatures Shally says, yeah, for me the contest, even with the extension, ended up the day after my finals, and that was the last day I had to work a full shift, so I had 0 time in the end. Yeah, I know. So I apologize for that. It kind of lined up weird, and then I was like, well, I feel like there should be another contest like right now because yeah, I have, so for those of you who don't know, I do typically a coloring contest every month for my Patreon, and a couple months, the month before we did a collaboration contest which turned out really awesome. I have to tell you guys a little bit more about that later because the entries for that were just spectacular. So then I wanted to do a follow-up one, which was a little bit different. It was, so years ago on YouTube, I did two different versions of my collaboration contest. And in one version, there's my backup. In one version, I had the people who are going to enter actually create a template or a drawing or some kind of art piece that I could add to, and then from that I chose the best one to finish the art piece, if you will, so to create a collaboration. So it was really cool, but it took quite a bit more work on the part of the errands. Is that the right word? The errands? The enterers? Whatever, you know what I mean. So yeah, so this month we did that on my Patreon, but it was a little bit of a slow month because of finals for people and stuff, I know. Yeah, but it's okay. We'll you know, we'll go back to it. I'll share the process of collaborating with the winner. Should be pretty cool. If you guys aren't into my Patreon yet, you should check it out because I've got some fun stuff over there. Everybody's been having a really fun time with the coloring contests before this too, so I got to see some pretty cool, see my art come to life in unique ways. It's such an interesting thing to see other people interpret your line work. It's really cool because they all somehow look super different. But yeah, so the winner of my first collaboration contest on Patreon, I just am so blown away by it that we're actually he's an illustrator as well. So I was like, this is like just almost kind of unfair, really, but it was so cool. I was like, okay, I have to give him the credit. But I asked him if he would like to do a collaborative print of it with me because it's that awesome. So we are going to offer a limited edition collaborative print of that winning entry. If you guys didn't see it, I'll share it with you guys later, or I think I have it on my Instagram. But yeah, so that should be pretty cool. What? Oh God! See, here we go. I haven't even painted yet, and it's already all over me. This is how it actually goes. So yeah, so if you guys need me, just tag me in the chat so I can quickly find it. Hello, Trudy. Welcome. Did you draw those gorgeous flowers yourself or use a reference photo? Well, I did draw them myself, but I did use a reference photo, so that's 2 yeses. It's very hard to draw flowers out of your head unless you do that all the time and you kind of like have a reference in your head. I use photo reference for everything pretty much. I stylize my portraits, but I always usually use photos to reference. I'm not that good at drawing out of my head. I don't think actually very many artists are good drawing purely out of their head. I definitely looked at pictures. These hummingbirds were also from photo reference. That makes sense. So yeah, I don't free draw. Occasionally my thumbnails are kind of like free draw, but then I find reference after that that kind of emulates what I'm looking for, so to speak. Okay, I'm not getting the right color that I want here. I think I added way too much white. A little bit more green. I might have to go back to this if I can't get it. Yeah, these succulents are like a really interesting color. They're like this grayish, bluish, greenish. I love these icy blue succulents so much. I use them in all of my bridal bouquets, in my bridal bouquet and my bridesmaids bouquets, because I just so in love with them. And I also had them in the boutonnieres when I got married, because I know succulents are kind of popular now, but they just look so cool. They're such great shapes. Okay, now we're getting more of the color I'm after. That might have been slightly too far, but that's okay. This works as a base color. So when I paint, something you can think about is if you're painting in acrylic, that is typically I kind of think of it like putting on makeup. If you're familiar with makeup, that you can start with a base color and then you kind of go back in and do the contouring on top of that, do the highlighting and the contouring, right? So you never have to like worry too much if the base color isn't perfect, because you're probably going to have some slightly lighter areas, some slightly darker, some slightly more saturated. So you just kind of get a color that's somewhere in the middle of what you're after. Ooh, yeah, I think I'm getting it. I think I'm getting it right there. Yeah, and then you can always tweak it in multiple layers afterwards. I know acrylic is kind of scary sometimes because you're like, well, it's dry, then I'm stuck with it. But you're not, because you can always layer it. You can even do very thin kind of translucent layers on top of it to just tweak it a little bit. So yeah, acrylic is a lot more about building instead of blending, like oil. Oil, you can always kind of go back in and blend it out real nice. But acrylic, you have to think a little bit more like I like to use the analogy of like construction paper collage, that you're going to have to put another layer on top of it. But depending on how lightly you do the strokes, you can also kind of create a painterly gradient as well, which I kind of like to do sometimes very, very softly, subtly. Thin it with water or matte medium. You can really get in there. I'm starting my Bob Ross voice. My favorite. Okay. I think I've got a good succulent base color. You see that? It's like that nice grayish teal. I think we're getting it. Okay. Hello, Midnight Doll. Lately, a lot of artists for their followers have been doing a drawing theme a month challenge. Aside from the Patreon, would you do that for your follows if you ever have time? Been doing a drawing theme a month challenge, as in I tell you guys what to draw, or I draw what you guys want. Could you clarify? So yeah, have their followers been doing a drawing theme a month? So let me know what you mean by that. Because I know like Mab Graves does her like drawing challenge and stuff. I mean, that would be cool. I mean I could switch that up and do that instead of a coloring contest. That might be a good idea. I feel like I don't want to like layer too many like assignments on you guys, because I know a lot of you guys definitely have other stuff going on in your lives besides doing contests art, and some of you guys follow multiple artists and everything. So yeah, I might substitute that. That might be fun. I love those drawing challenges. I think they're really cool. I've never actually completed one myself. I'm a slacker. It's actually super hard. I did one mermaid. I did one, but I was also super busy in May, unfortunately. But I applaud anyone that's done even a few days. It's pretty great. Hello, Nico Grimmy. Welcome. Hello. Nice to see you. And we also have Tia Ann. Yeah, am I saying that right? Tia Ann? Like Lee? I'm not sure. T Ann, maybe. Hello, McArt Pop. Welcome. Midnight Doll says, yes, like you choose the theme and we draw, then we interpret. Oh, okay, great. Yeah, I like that idea better, because I'm like, I probably can't take any more requests, because I'm hardly able to keep up with my art as it is. But yeah, so would it just be like one theme for the month? Okay, T Ann, thank you. So I did say it right. I was trying to make it more complicated. Hello, welcome. Yeah, so I will think about that. Maybe I'll propose that to my patrons, see what they think, if they want to do a drawing challenge. So then I would just say, okay, then on this day you have to turn in something that was of the theme. That's a cool idea. I like that. I like that idea. I think asking them to do like a 30-day challenge would be way too much. I don't think anyone could probably even do that. But yeah, just one for the month I think would be cool. Yeah, what do you guys think, since you're here? Oh, okay. Tian says, was Tracy, but I took the Racy out. So wait, so you were Tracy Ann, and now you just decided to be T Ann? That's cute. I like that. I like that a lot. That's very cool. I like a unique name, obviously. See, isn't that so weird though? When you put color down, it looks like a different color than in your mixing cup, but that's okay. I'm starting kind of thin here because I want to build these up a little bit and have some nuances. Oh my god, it's 5 o'clock already. That's crazy. Where does the time go? Now I'm already thinking about food again. Pizza. I think my stomach just growled. The only thing I don't like about, I have like this really hypersensitive microphone is like if I haven't eaten shortly before filming, you can hear my stomach growling. Oh god, now it's totally growling now because I can hear me talking about it. I was like, so I don't know what this means. I guess I should get like a medical opinion, but like when I was in school, I swear to god, my stomach was louder than every other person. And remember when you had to do like those like not the SATs but like Sat 9 testing, or it was like preparatory testing, my stomach would be going ape shit. And then other kids would like turn around and be like, ew, like what is wrong with your digestive system? It's so embarrassing. I don't know. I guess I was just very hungry, and I never ate before school because like I was one of those kids. I always like felt slightly nauseated before I had to go to school. I'm like, oh god, what's gonna happen today? What am I in for? Yeah, so I wouldn't eat, and then I'd get there, and then it'd be completely silent, and then my stomach would just be going nuts. Anyways. Okay. Midnight Doll says, oh wait, hold on. So Tian says, yeah, legally and all, I'm reinventing. That's awesome. Good for you. When you really feel like your name doesn't match you, I totally applaud that when people are like, you know what, this is what I go by and this is the name that I want. It's very cool. Sorry, so Midnight Doll says, normally one theme. It's more easier than a daily drawing challenge and we can take our time with it. Fabulous. I love this idea. So thank you for that. I think I might adopt that. We'll give it a try. Yeah, because I'm sure you guys sometimes get like tired of just having to color my artwork. It'd be cool to see you guys do your own thing, which is kind of what I was going for with the collab contest, which I think definitely worked. So I was very excited to see what people came up with when left to their own devices. So I'll share those soon. I'm gonna try to narrow down the winner maybe by tomorrow, because I know it's like so hard to wait. But I got quite a few very, very interesting ones. And my brain is hurting because I'm like, I could do something very interesting with that. I could do something interesting with that. And then I also have sort of the conundrum of, oh, well, this one's kind of outside my comfort zone, but this one would be easier for me because it feels more like something I would do. You know, so I don't know. I might go, I'm thinking I might take a risk and take the one that's not typically something I would do, but I think could be a fun challenge, if that makes sense. So yeah, stay tuned. Midnight Doll says, hey, would you ever do a Fallout or Mass Effect piece like how you did Mad Moxie from Borderlands? If someone ever buys Mad Moxie, then I'll do another video game piece. Yeah, I think I sold a few prints of Mad Moxie, but sadly, I still have the original, and I just don't know if it's, like, too niche, if you will. Like, it's hard to, like, find the right person for something like that, because it definitely doesn't appeal to every audience. Even though I think she's kind of a cool-looking character, regardless of whether you know the game. But, yeah, she's still sitting in my inventory, so I'm kind of like, I'm not sure if I'll continue down that path, you know what I mean? I did do a Mass Effect postcard for a postcard show I was in Gallery 1988, and that I love, and I've been selling limited edition postcards of it and prints and hoodies and stuff. So if you didn't see it, it's pretty cool. I did like it was supposed to be the assignment was to do a postcard from a fictional place. So it's supposed to look like a real postcard from a fictional place. So I did Club Afterlife on Omega, and it looks, I've got some of the like Asari dancers, and it kind of looks like a Miami nightclub type of thing. So yeah, I'm happy with how that came out. You can check that out on my website or my Etsy store. It's also on my Instagram. Yeah, so I liked that piece, but again, it's not a super popular print sell, just because it is like the fan base. I mean, there are a lot of Mass Effect fans, but typically my art is not aimed at like gamer geekdom, if you will. So I don't know, but we'll see. I probably won't do a Fallout pieces because I don't. It's kind of like ugly. Everything in Fallout's sort of like dilapidated and ugly. I don't know if that would be like post-apocalyptic. I mean, except for Borderlands, I guess in this case, is not really my shtick so much. Yeah, but you never know. We'll see. Yeah. Oh, Make Art Pop says, love your hair, by the way. Oh, thank you. I'm having a very good hair color day. So after almost a year of being various shades of yellow, yellow, dingy, grayish yellow, and who knows what else, I finally today have like my ideal hair color. It's been a long process because I really have been after this like white silver, like not gray, but like the whitest silver you can get. Because sometimes, I mean, I don't mind it a little bit on the gray side. I don't mind it a little bit on the blonde side either. But like it's finding that like perfect balance of like silver, which is like almost impossible, I've realized, to nail. And it's a series of toners and leaving your purple shampoo for the perfect amount of time. It's insane. I've had many hair colors, blue and pink and like some other different things. And this has been by far the hardest and most difficult to maintain, because it tends to be very, very finicky, and it likes to have blotches of purple or blotches of yellow or orangey tones, and it's like, ugh, if any of you guys have tried it, I'm like almost ready to like ditch it and grow my hair back, but I also love it at the same time. So I'm like, oh, maybe just one more touch up. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with, I think I'm gonna start going in with black to start getting her hair to pop out. While I let that dry, we'll do some more layers on the succulent. I could start this pansy here, but I don't know what I did with my purple paint. Hold on, I gotta go look for it. Oh, okay. Did I miss a question? Okay, hello, Nico Grimmy. I used to have a habit where I would always buy a new color and make a new color wheel with that color in mind. Just wondering if you have a sketchbook or of swatches or something. Oh, I think I see. That. I think I see what you're saying. So like when you would mix a new color, you would make a little swatch of it so you could like color match it again. That's a really good idea. I sort of did that for my Alice piece that I was working on, because I had some, I wanted a little bit of a lighting, very, very subtle, like pinkish light on everything. So I wanted to make sure I could recreate some of those colors. So I was doing color swatches. I should do them like in a notebook though. That's a really cool idea, because sometimes I don't remember. And also I like that idea of like putting, so like a lot of times I do color tests because I want to see what color it actually dries, because I mean this, you know, color sample on the tube doesn't actually tell you anything. But it's funny because these colors will also look different on a different background. So on white, they kind of look like this, but then when they're on blue or something, sometimes they can look totally different. So another thing that I sometimes do is, I don't have an example around me, but sometimes I will paint some of the background color on a little card or swatch like this, and then I test my colors on that, because then I can really see how they're gonna look. And colors always dry differently than you expect them to as well, so that's always a fun challenge too, because most of the time they dry darker, but I do like to do a few tests first usually. So yeah, so thanks for that suggestion. That's actually a good idea. I did that with spray paint. I'll show you just for reference, because it is kind of handy. So when I was painting my my Little Shop of Horrors piece, sounds like I said horrors, but I said horrors. Sorry. When I was painting my Little Shop of Horrors piece, I was like, okay, there's a lot of different greens going on in my color comp, and I really wanted to make sure I got the right colors of green and combined the right colors of green. So I bought like tons of greens, and yes, I sprayed these swatches and I cut them out, and then I could really compare, because like these, like for example, like these three here, actually no, it was these three, okay, these three looked very, very similar on the can, and these two are pretty close, but this one's pretty different actually. So then I was like, okay, you know, I was after more of this color, this value. So it was really important, because I was building such a complicated masking piece. I really need to make sure that the colors and the values worked right, because some of them I was like, well, I really want a dark green, and so I bought these two greens, and then I realized, well, this one is actually significantly darker. It doesn't show up that great here, but this is a brighter green and this is a darker. So anyways, yeah, so those really helped. And then I wrote the titles of the spray paint cans on the back. So that's kind of a cool way. And then I can move them around and stuff. I almost like that better than a sketchbook, because then if you're like, well, if I want to put these two side by side, is that going to work in the piece? Or if I want to put, you know, this here, is that going to clash or not? So yeah, maybe that'd be kind of a cool idea to create little swatches for yourself. Basically, if you go to art school, that's all you get, that's all they ever have you do is paint swatches and stuff. So I should have known, but yeah, anyways, that's a great tip. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Creatures from Starlight says, I need to feed myself. I need to get back into actually taking care of myself, because the last few weeks were yikes. Yes, please remember to eat. It's very important. I used to get like that too, though. Like, actually, when I get very stressed, I mean, that's probably why I still eat somewhat terribly, and I'm not too obese yet. But I do go through bouts of, like, I'm busy or excited or anxious, or a combination of all three of those, and then I don't eat. I don't remember to eat. Okay, so let's get started in this area. Painting this little pansy. You know, flowers are actually super fun to paint. I kind of forget how much I enjoy painting flowers, because I feel like there's not that much, like, there's minimal, there's, you can't mess it up, basically, because flowers are rarely perfect, and they can be many sizes and shapes, so you don't have to be as accurate. And you can also leave them a little bit loose too, which is nice sometimes. Like, I might have a couple of these be a little more finished, but then I might have a couple of them be a little bit looser. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, it's just fun to paint something that you can be a little bit more expressive with and not have to worry so much about accuracy. I mean, you know, I don't paint realism that much, but I do get kind of fussy in the eyes and the nose and the mouth to kind of make sure that's reading right. That's the part that I really get anal about, if you will, because I want, like, I'll be very frustrated if I feel like a certain expression that I'm after isn't coming through, and whether it be in the eyes or the mouth or whatever. So that's the part that I really get kind of hung up on. I get the most hung up on their, like, if they're not looking in the right direction. Like, that, like, drives me crazy. Like, if I want that character to make direct eye contact and they're, like, looking, like, slightly out of the, like, you know, they're not, like, looking exactly at you, they're looking sort of off, that, like, drives me nuts. Or if I want them looking off and then I feel like their one eye is not looking the same way, it's just like the most infuriating thing. Creatures for Starlight says, should I eat sandwich, cereal, or ramen? I say ramen. Ramen's my go-to. I lived off that stuff in college. You can, put an egg in it, crack an egg over it, put some veggies in there. It's delicious. And you got a full meal out of it. Oh, hello! Emma X Marie is here. Hello, how are you? Oh my gosh. And so Emma and I, are sort of, we've been YouTube friends for, a long time, right? I think you were one of the first, beauty, art channels that I ever subscribed to, actually. If you guys don't know who Emma is, go find her at the same name on Instagram and YouTube, because she's, a living doll. She's absolutely gorgeous and super insanely talented. So I'm so excited that you're here. I'm sorry, I know you were in San Francisco last year, was it? And I missed you. I was somewhere else. I think I was on a trip somewhere, so I just missed you, and I was so mad because I would have loved to meet you in person. I hope you guys had a good time though. You'll have to let me know what you thought. I'm sorry our city's so dirty. I'll just apologize for that. Because I love San Francisco, but I don't know. It's getting bad. It's getting bad and sad, I guess. It makes me sad sometimes when I go there and I'm like, you know what, this used to be a beautiful place, and now it's just, I don't know, trash in the street now. It's just, I don't know, it's getting kind of icky. It's just so bizarre to me that it's costs you your soul to live there, and it's not even nice, so it's a bummer. Maybe it'll come back someday. McArt Pop says, have you been watching Drag Race Season 10? What do you think? Yes, I have. I don't want to spoil it, so if anybody here is not caught up, I won't say anything too spoilery. Maybe I'll just keep it safe. But yes, I have. And I know what your follow-up question will be, and it's, who do you want to win? And honestly, I'm very torn. I really like all of them. So I think this might be... I felt pretty torn last year because I was a huge fan of Shea Coulee and Sasha Velour, so I was torn between those two, but I was happy Sasha won because I think she just was so unique. But this year, I like all four of the top four so much that I'm like, because I was definitely, for most of the season, I was Team Eureka, because I just think Eureka is the total package. I think if you look up drag queen in a dictionary, there's Eureka. She just embodies all of it so well. I know she kind of has some haters online, which I just do not get, I have to say. I'm like, are we watching the same show? What is it about her that you don't like? Because I think she's sometimes a little loud and brutally honest, but I don't know, I appreciate that about her. I think she doesn't pretend to be something she's not. And I think she has a huge heart, and I think she's fabulous. But then on the same token, I think Aquaria is a perfection look-wise. She's just perfection. I want to paint every single look that she does. I think she's gorgeous, and I think she's become so much more confident and likable as the show has gone on. So I don't know. For me, I think it's between them two. But I do love Cameron, and I think Asia's really sweet and fun too. So yeah, who do you want? Do you want to tell me? Yeah, chime in. Midnight Doll says, well, at least San Fran is better than Chicago. More crap has been going on lately, and apparently there's been a serial on the loose in the city. Jesus, a serial killer? Oh my god. I've never been to Chicago. That makes me sad, though, because I know it's a really awesome city. It makes me sad to hear that as well. My parents went there last year, and they loved it so much. They're like, we can't wait to go back. But I know they've had their fair share of problems, for sure. Yeah, it's always kind of a bummer, right? Because it's I don't know, big cities have so much culture and art and food and such, museums, great stuff to offer, but at the same time, crime and bad stuff too. So it's a shame. Emma says, yes, we've known each other quite a while now. I was in the US 2 years ago, and I think you had wedding stuff. That was it. Yes, I was gone for my wedding. Sorry about that. Dang it. Yes, I totally forgot. That was why I missed you. Let me know if you ever come back, though. I hope you guys at least had fun on your trip. Yeah. McArtpop says, I was a total Cracker fan, but yeah, I'm torn about who I want to win. My dad wants Asia, but I'm thinking Aquaria. Your dad, I love that your dad watches it. My husband watches it. He loves it. Who do you want to win? Do you have he's here. We were both Team Eureka, but now I am sort of torn.
Or Aquaria,
I think it's between them two. I think, I mean, it's hard because like Aquaria is not the best like speaker, I guess you would say, but I think she's really funny. She won the Snatch game. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, we loved Cracker. We were very sad to see Cracker go. I actually was very surprised to see Cracker go. We were a bit stunned that day because I was kind of like, well, poor Cameron, she's been in the bottom 3 times, like maybe it's time for her to go. And then I was like, oh damn, like that was harsh. I don't know, because I didn't really think, I thought their lip syncs were actually pretty even. So yeah, I'm sad, but maybe I feel like there might be some weird technique that they want Cracker on an All-Stars season, because she's kind of like maybe would be perfect for that. And she did definitely got in her head a little bit too much. I feel like if I was on a reality show, I would perform like Cracker though. So I really related to her, because I feel like if I was put on the spot to do stuff like that, I would just freak out and try to be a perfectionist and then like miss the mark completely. So I definitely feel like I relate to that. It's hard. Sometimes like the best thing you can do, especially in those kind of situations, is just like go for it and not care so much, because then you end up doing better, right? I don't know. It's a delicate balance, I guess. Emma says, yeah, it was a really great trip. Probably going to go back later this year, but I think we're only going to New York and Florida. Yeah, well, you'll enjoy that. I love New York. In Florida, I've only been to Disney World, so I don't really have like much experience with that, but I think you'll probably enjoy that too. Yeah, have fun. See some shows. Eat some good food. Mick Artpop says, yeah, my dad and I are going to War on the Catwalk tour. It's amazing. I'm so jealous. I want to go to that. It's probably already sold out in San Francisco, though. Dang it. I think I'm going to go to a finale viewing party, though, maybe. I think they might have some of the queens there. I've been very lucky to meet quite a few of them now, so I'm getting spoiled, but I live for it. I live for all of it. I can't wait. Like every time Thursday rolls around, I'm like, yeah, it's my favorite time of the week. I take a break from working or whatever I'm doing and watch Drag Race. So it's so awesome. Okay. Midnight Doll says, hey, I like the new queens on the race, but I think my all-time favorite has to be Willem Belli. He's literally the meaning of no filter. That's awesome. I love Willem as well. I know that Willem tends to rub people the wrong way sometimes, but I always enjoyed her on the show. I was always like, why is everybody picking on her? She's just being honest, and most of her snark was totally comedic and harmless. And do you remember that one Untucked with Willem and Fifi? Oh my god, that was one of my favorites. Like Fifi is just like flipping out and like going off on Willem, and Willem's just like, your tone seems very pointed right now. I just love it. She's just like, you're screaming at me and like you're just making a fool of yourself. It's so good. I loved it. I was very sad that she left too soon, and I guess kind of pissed off everyone from the show, so she probably won't be back for All Stars ever, because I think she got herself in trouble. But yeah. Anyway, I love William too. Do you watch the Beatdown? Willem's Beatdown? I haven't seen like all of them, but I've seen quite a few of them, and it's pretty great. Okay, I'm gonna get another angle for my YouTubers with this camera. Hopefully it's not going to be in the way too much. Deep. There we go. Okay. Yeah. McGard pop. Is the carpet comfortable? So good. Oh my god. I'm so mad that I can't find season 4 anywhere. It's not online anywhere, and it's like driving me nuts because I'm pretty sure I had bought it, actually, that I bought it on Amazon, and then they took it off, so I'm kind of pissed because I owned that and now I can't watch it anywhere. I guess, can you buy the DVDs of it? Because like I need to have that, and the Untucked, because season 4 was like one of my all-time favorite seasons. Ugh. I swear, if you guys don't watch the show, you need to. If any of you guys call yourselves creatives, you need to be watching RuPaul's Drag Race. I'd be not one to typically bully people into watching a reality show, but this one is worth it, I'm telling you. Like, everyone that I've shown it to is, like, obsessed with it now. Like, my sister was like, I don't know, I don't like reality shows. I don't like Project Runway. I don't like stuff like that. She is so obsessed with Drag Race, it's, like, not even funny. Like, way more than me. Every single day, she, like, texts me, like, gifs of Alyssa Edwards. Alyssa Edwards is her phone screen. It's so funny. So yeah, you just never know until you try it. Ooh, yeah, I love to use this is my favorite black. I know I've shared it before, but this is the Golden High Flow acrylic carbon black, and it's basically like a liquid ink. It's like an acrylic ink, and it's just so black. And it flows just so beautifully on, and it just stays nice and smooth and even, and it's my favorite. Why don't they pay me to endorse their products? Probably because they don't want me to sing about them. Like, oh please don't do that. Okay, sorry. Nico, do you have a song to get stuck in your head this week? I had one. What was it? No, I don't want to think of it because it'll be back in there. This happens to me all the time. Yesterday I was singing Miss New Booty by Bubba Sparxxx. To the extreme annoyance of my husband. I don't know what made me think of it, but I was just like, she's Miss New Booty. Booty, 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 fucking everywhere. Okay, now that's it. That's it. I apologize. Some of you guys probably don't even remember that song, because that was like popular when I was in high school, so sorry about it. Midnight Doll, yeah, she's so good in Untucked, and I saw a scene of her in Criminal Minds, which I scrounged trying to find her. Oh, I know. We're still talking about Willem. Willem was on Drag Race, but is also an actor. And I had seen Willem, so funny enough, I had seen quite a bit of Willem because I was a big fan of Nip Tuck. Does anybody remember that show? And Willem was, I think, on several episodes. So on the show, I think he played like a trans hooker or something, but he falls in love with the main guy's son, and there's like all this drama, and like he was getting like beat up, and oh god, it's great. It's such a stupid schlocky show, but it was like a major guilty pleasure show. I have seen every episode. It got really bad towards the end. The last couple seasons were almost just too stupid, but it was my guilty pleasure show for a bit. I also found Willem in Sex and the City, but it's like a 2-second clip. I think I don't know if she even has like a line, but I did find it. Um, Emma says, season 4 was great. I love Sharon Needles. Me too. I love Sharon. I saw her live in a show, but I wasn't able to meet her because the meet and greet line got too long that they cut it off. So I was bummed. That was the one time. So this was actually funny. So this was years ago. And so we went to see Sharon at a show in San Francisco. And Alaska... So many of you probably know Alaska because Alaska won All-Stars and became super, super famous. But Alaska and Sharon Needles used to be a couple. So when we went to see Sharon, Alaska was just like, this is before nobody even knew who Alaska was. I knew who she was because they showed like a little clip of her in Untucked. And I was like, oh my God, that's Sharon's boyfriend, Alaska. And Alaska was just standing there, and I was like, oh my God, like, hey, we should go say hi or whatever. So I saw her like way before she was famous. So it's pretty funny. I was too scared to go say hi though. Although she probably would have liked it that I recognized her back then because she hadn't gotten known yet. Creatures Starlight says, oh, I've been meaning to tell you, the first time I did a tarot spread for myself, I drew your card. No way. Okay, that is weird. So how are you liking it? So I introduced Creatures from Starlight to tarot recently because I thought she would be into it, and I gave her, so in exchange for all the incredible fan art she's given me, I gifted her a tarot deck from 78 Tarot that I was part of, and yeah, I was like, you should just try this out because I'm not like really like, I'm not a superstitious person or really a supernaturalist in any way, but I really enjoy tarot. I think it's such an interesting way to kind of like reflect on things going on in your life and give you a little clarity and give you a little food for thought. I mean, to me, I kind of look at it like your astrology and that kind of thing. I mean, you can take what you want from it, but I've gotten some super, super uncanny readings that I just like. I think there has to be something to this because this is just creepy, right? It's creepy. It's so spot on. And my sister, who I like to think of as a witch, because I think she is a little bit I don't know, psychic or something. She gifted me my cards that I primarily use. I have a few decks now, but I don't know. There's like something to it. I'm telling you, it's bizarre. Like, she did a full spread reading for me, like right before I was gonna get married, and I got the card that symbolized a marriage. So that was like really, really weird. And she just texted me, which is weird because it's like she knows I'm talking about her. I'm telling you, man, witches everywhere. I wanted to be a witch when I was in high school, and I was very into. Hopefully, my mom isn't gonna watch this because she'll still be mad. But for those of you who don't know, I grew up Catholic, Catholic-ish anyway, so I went to Catholic school, and then when I was in high school, I got very into Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I was, my friend and I were kind of both into it, and I had some books on Wicca, which is kind of basically a form of witchcraft. Witchcraft, I don't like that word witchcraft, but Wiccans are considered like, they, do spells and pray to the mother goddess and all that. So I had some books on that, and I don't know, I loved it. I thought it was just fascinating, and it had things you had to do, like, nothing like steal the neighbor's cat or anything, but it was like, go to the forest and choose a stick that speaks to you, and that would be your wand. And then I did some other, like, little, just, it was kind of like confidence building spells, and like, I don't know, you put some herbs in a bath. I don't know, it was cool. I was into it. Open up your chakras and all that. But my mom found my books in my closet, and she like freaked out, and she was like, what is this? This is Satan. No, not that bad. But she was just kind of like, what is this? Like, this is weird. Is this Dungeons and Dragons or something? And she took them away. But I think I got them back again. Anyways, I kind of give her a hard time now because she's not, my family's not like, we're not like hardcore religious or anything, but like, she's like, oh yeah, I don't know, I just didn't know what you were into. I wanted to read it first. And I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, there's actually some pretty good stuff in there. I was like, yeah, I told you. It's all about like feminism and like female power and everything. I think she read it and liked it. So anyways, there's my story about that. Emma says, Alaska was great. I just finished watching season 5. Yeah, I love season 5 is also great. And I recently saw Jinx Monsoon and Ben de la Creme, and they did a stage production of Death Becomes Her, and that Death Becomes Her is one of my favorite movies of all time. So them two playing the parts in that show, oh my god, it was one of the best things I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of shows. I almost died laughing. They were just perfect. And Jinx is amazing. She really, like, Drag Race aside, she is like a performer. She's a singer, a dancer, a comedian, and I just, like, was floored by her. And Jinx Monsoon, the real Jinx Monsoon, followed me on Instagram, and I almost had a heart attack that day. So yeah, there's little bragging rights for me right there. I am a huge fan of her. I'm also a big fan of Alyssa Edwards from season 5. But I actually fell more in love with Alyssa Edwards on All Stars than on season 5 because I thought she was a little bit, like, bitchy sometimes. But I don't know. I love them all, honestly. And any opportunity I have to see any of them, except for maybe Fifi. I don't really have too much desire to see her. Or maybe the Vixen. I don't know. She kind of was, like, off-putting. Creatures says, I like it so far. It's very uncanny at times. Tarot, she means. It's hard to shuffle the cards, though, because of how big they are. I know. That takes a little practice. Like, they feel like a nice size, but, like shuffling them takes a while. Though, I don't know if it says in the book. I should give you a little demonstration here, because there's a way that the tarot book I have, there's a way that it, like, actually recommends that you shuffle them. I think, you can shuffle them like regular cards, but before you do a reading, so I can't remember if the little book I gave you actually shows this or not, but let me see, because I have a couple of different tarot books, but it's supposed to show how to do the different readings. See, I don't see it in here because this just shows the meanings. So you might have to look it up. A great resource for this is Biddy Tarot. I think it's Biddy Tarot, and they have, like, a lot of great information. And here is, for your viewing pleasure, is the other deck that I worked on with 78 Tarot. This is the Astral deck, Tarot in Space, and there's my card right there, the sun. Anyways, so and you can, mix these up in directions. Some tarot doesn't interpret the upside down meanings, but I kind of like that because I think they give you different kind of viewpoints. But the tarot book I have is, like, before you're going to do a reading, you hold the deck in your left hand, and then you just take chunks from your right hand. So you kind of just mix them up and shuffle them loosely, however you want, into your left hand. And then when you're ready to do the reading, so you keep doing that, and then you would make 3 piles with your right hand. Sorry, Frida, you're getting a little tarot on you today. And then you reassemble the deck in any way that you feel you want to. Okay, and then you would lay out the spread like as such. Yeah, so, oh, that's a nice, these are nice. And that's kind of weird because I need to get to work. I'm doing another card for 78 Tarot, and this year the theme is the elements, and oddly enough this is the death card, and spoilers, I'm going to be doing death this year, so I'm pretty excited. I wanted the devil, but it was already taken, so I wanted to do kind of like a darker card this time because I've done a lot of more positive energy cards, and I think it will be fun to do something a little bit on the dark side. What do you guys think of that? So Midnight Doll says, hey, I've been trying to write a story about witches. I've put it on the side since I've been doing other stuff, but I should go back to it. You should. You should. I love, like, I kind of love the whole thing, the whole mythology to it. Like I said, I was very interested in Wicca, that sort of thing. Nothing, like, really weird or dark. My sister and I tried a couple of, like, you know, make a boy fall in love with you spells. I think that one, okay, so I don't really remember all the details from this, but I believe that I had to have something of his. So I think I, like, took his pencil or something. I did something slightly creepy. So then you had to, like, say some stuff over it. But yeah, then he started dating someone else, and then I was like, well, damn it. I thought you were going to be my 8th grade boyfriend, but it didn't happen. Yeah, it's really weird. Like, if someone knew that you were, like, doing spells about them, that's kind of creepy, I suppose. I'll send him a message on Facebook like, hey, I don't know if you remember me, but, like, 20 years ago, I was trying to put spells on you. Yeah, so... Tian says, I be a pagan. Yes, I love tarot and oracle decks. I'm creating a whole deck at the moment in the memory of Susan Jeffers, who wrote the Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Oh yeah, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Dude, really? You're so ambitious. That is amazing, because I love the idea of creating my own unique tarot deck, but the task itself is so daunting that I'm just like, oh god, it would take me the rest of my life. I feel like it's 78 cards, plus if you write a guidebook or something. Tian, if you have any insight of how exactly you're going about that, I would love to hear it, because I love being part of 78 Tarot because I only have to do one card. But yeah, doing the whole thing myself would be crazy. I feel like I would want to probably, like, kickstart the project or something, but I don't even know how fast I could deliver it. I think I would do something like, so I have the Wild Unknown Tarot, which I should show you guys, which is the deck that my sister gifted me, and I love it. But most of the cards are just black and white, like, ink drawings. So that might be a better way. I think how I would go about it is do, like, the major arcana, like with full painting illustrations, and then do the other cards with more simplistic, like ink sketches, something like that. I don't know. What do you guys think? I know that would be cool. Some people, I mean, even if you guys, like, aren't into tarot, they are really fun to collect them just for how beautiful visually they are. Emma says, yeah, I wasn't a fan of Fifi or Vixen either. I know, like, why you gotta be so mean? It's just drag. Like, calm down. Hello, Daniel. Welcome. How are you doing? It's nice to see you here. I missed watching you on stream. I know. I told these guys I'm sorry I've been away so long, but I've been traveling, and then the sickness got me down, and you can probably still hear it in my voice a little bit. I still sound a little bit gross, but I feel at least that I can show my face again, so I'm excited. I'm going to try to stream more because it's super fun, and then maybe I'll get to become an affiliate. I think I was really close to becoming one, but then I slacked off. You have to, there's some, I don't know, it's pretty simple rules. You have to have, like, a certain amount of followers, and then you have to stream at least a certain amount of times a month, and then they give you, like, the little affiliate status. Midnight, have you ever watched the movie Heathers? Are you serious? That's one of my favorite movies. Or heard the songs from a musical theater production made based off the movie. I did not know they did a musical theater, a musical theater version. I'm trying to picture it, actually. Suicide, teen suicide, don't do it. Is that, like, the main theme song? So Heathers is one that's close to my heart, but it's such a weird movie. I kind of miss movies like that, that just are just strange, kind of for the sake of just being strange. Yeah, it is one of my favorites. Some of the lines in that script are just like, wait, what now? Like, they said that? This is so strange. If you haven't seen it, I don't, it's hard for me to recommend because you kind of have to be, like, into that sort of thing. It's a dark comedy, But yeah, it's just an odd little movie about like just how like screwed up and jaded like these high school kids are, and I don't know, it's kind of great. It's one that I really enjoy. And they referenced that on Drag Race. There was a group of queens that were calling themselves Heathers based on that movie. Daniel says, speaking of tarot, I once designed mine for an illustration class, and I did the Lovers card. Oh, cool. Yeah, that it's really kind of a fun like illustration assignment, isn't it? Like, how would you interpret this? And there's like meaning behind it, and I like that they gave you that as an assignment in class. I think that's cool. What did you end up doing for it? You can share with us. I did a version of the Lovers card too, actually, in a way, because it was a commission piece. I shared it recently on my Instagram. I can pull up a pic of it. But this my client was writing her own like short story, and she wanted like a circus poster. So her characters were like in the circus, so they were circus performers, and they were in love. So there was a fortune teller and a tightrope walker. And she wanted it to be tarot inspired and also like vintage circus inspired. Yeah, so this was kind of what we came up with together. It was really, really fun piece to work on. So that was my version of the Lovers as a circus tarot card. Yeah, and I posted it for Pride, and I sold some prints of it. So I'm like, yay, it's come back into popularity again, because it was a really fun commission to do. I hope she really liked it. It was fun because she had like, it was a fun project because she had like little character bios, and then she had the little story. So I really got to kind of get in her head about what she was thinking, and then she gave me quite a bit of artistic freedom though, which was great. So that was a very fun commission to work on. Well, oh my goodness, it's almost 6 o'clock already, so I'll go till 6, guys, and then I probably have to go find some dinner myself. I just recently got a new game for our VR, for our Vive, so I'm like itching to take a break and go play it. Emma says, would you ever stream games? I don't know. I've thought about this before, but I don't know. When I'm gaming, it's kind of like, I don't want to be distracted by streaming, if that makes sense, because I usually love to just really get immersed in whatever I'm playing. So I don't know if I want it to be more of a public experience. I don't know. It depends on the game, I guess. My husband and I and our cousin play Left 4 Dead all the time, and I wish we would have streamed some of those. Because it gets absolutely hysterical, screaming and like, help me, get me up, and there's something on my head. So I do regret that we haven't actually, maybe we should do that sometime. Although this cousin that we have tends to get a little bit offensive at times, so I'm not sure I can associate him with my brand.
You can beep him out.
Beep him out.
A lot of that.
But yeah, I don't know. I'll think about it. Midnight Doll says, the musical is pretty good. The songs I enjoyed a lot, to be honest. Have you seen the musical animatics on YouTube? If so, are there any songs you love? Seen musical animatics? I don't know what that is. I don't know. You have to give me more info. I'm not familiar. We were talking about this the other day about like musicals, and you know why you like musicals, because I love musicals, but I'm also like a hard judge of them, I feel like, because I know this is gonna be blasphemous, so I probably shouldn't even say this, but like I wasn't that into Wicked. I saw Wicked, and I heard all the hype about it, and I went and saw it, and I was just like, it was okay. Like I didn't remember any of the songs afterwards, and to me that's kind of like a fail on the musical level, because I'm there for the songs. I want to walk out singing the songs and having to buy the CD and just being like obsessed with it. So for me, it kind of missed the mark on that. But one of my prouder I think I got it for you for Christmas. My husband, before we were married, I got us tickets to see Book of Mormon, and I sprung for really good seats, and that was one of the best, honestly, one of the best musicals I've ever seen. It was absolutely hysterical. We were singing the songs for weeks. I still listen to the soundtrack sometime, and we're big South Park fans anyway, but I don't think you necessarily have to be. It's definitely its own thing. But it's super offensive, but in like a charming way. It's like, I don't know, it's great. I heard that people who are Mormon actually enjoy it, but if you have a chance to see that one, highly recommend it. Obviously, my favorite of all time is Little Shop of Horrors. Most of you guys know that. I've seen that movie, the 1986 movie, like 100 times, so that's one of my absolute favorites. Midnight Doll says, the animatics are really good. There are a lot of talented people out there. My favorite's done by them. So wait, are they a group? Is that what they are? Like a performance group or something? Nobody answered my question. Chat, hello. Daniel says, I did a darker version than slightly complemented by light coming from the below, since lighting sorry, I just lost my spot. Since lighting from below signifies a bit of a villainous aura. Cool. That sounds awesome. Did you do two figures, like sort of romantic, or? That sounds interesting. T-Ann says it's nearly 2 a.m. 2 a.m. Where are you? So McArtPop says, weird question, but do you have any ideas for a drag name? My dad got his quickly. McArtPop's dad's drag name is Chardonnay. That's amazing. But I'm lost on mine. Well, you could do, some kind of play on your own name, which, so like, I decided that my drag name was, Leilani, because I feel like it kind of sounds like an anime character, and it kind of sounds like my name, and it was a sort of unearned nickname that I got in school where kids would tease me and call me Lay On Me. I don't know. They thought my name was weird. They came up with all sorts of nicknames. But I thought that was kind of funny. I saw a really good one the other day. What was it? I love the punny ones. That's like a pun on something, but maybe you could come up with it based on stuff that you're kind of into. That might be fun. Maybe we'll have to think about it. Maybe I have to think about it. My first name is Michael, so I don't know how to work with that. Well, you could be Michaela. You could be something, a play on that. You could be Michaela O'Hara, or you could adopt a last name of one of the queens that you really like take their last name. Like you can be Michaela Edwards. Well, Michaela Needles. I don't know. Let me ponder that one. Next stream, I'll have a name for you. Okay, I'll come up with something. Oh God. Midnight Doll says their animations of the songs kind of like a music video, but don't replay the scene taking place of the song. Oh, interesting. Animatics, musical numbers that in rough stages of animation. Oh, well, I know what animatics are. I didn't know what you meant by that. Like, so is it like one artist that does these? Or like what's their name, or how do I? Because if I just look up animatics, that's not gonna get me to the right place. Daniel says, I did a couple looking at the audience in a creepy way. Oh, that sounds cool. Very cool. What medium do you like to use? Nico. They're talking about. Okay. Oh, TN is in the UK in studio. Cool. I love that you guys. I love that some of you UK people, or occasionally my Australian friends like Emma, can hang out, because I'm never sure when's like the best time to stream, because I know time zones can be tricky. So thank you for joining me, Tian, because it's like in the middle of the night. So I'm happy to have you instead of robbing you of your sleep. But if you're an artist like me, you're probably always up till 2 a.m. anyway, so it's probably not that much of a stretch. Yay! And then it's like, hey, we're all staying up late together. It's pretty great. Although I feel like maybe I should do a stream at like a really weird time, like 2 in the morning my time, so then like people who live in other countries, they can actually watch it when they're like home and available and not have to set an alarm for the middle of the night to get up. Although honestly that might be kind of fun. Like, remember when they used to do like, so I mean most of you guys probably won't even remember this, but back in the day they used to like, well, they still do this with video games I guess, but they used to do like a midnight release of something. So the example that I can think of off the top of my head is that they were releasing the DVD, not even the DVD, well, the DVD too, I think, but the VHS and DVD of Titanic. When that came out, it was a midnight release, and so we begged our parents to take us because we were just, you know, so obsessed with it. So we waited in this line at midnight outside Blockbuster, and we had like these Titanic badges, and we're like so ready to get it. And then we're like, okay, when we get home, we're gonna watch it as soon as we get home. So we did. So we got the double VHS tape and got home, and we watched Titanic till like 4 in the morning. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like with all this like streaming stuff and you know, you just download it instantly and all the instant gratification, like a little bit of that like excitement is lost, I guess, because that was just so much fun. I, even as a 30-something-year-old woman, I've waited at the midnight release at a few video games. I think it was Mass Effect 3. My husband and I went and waited for that. And he was out of town, so I went by myself to GameStop to pick up Mass Effect Andromeda, which ended up, you know, greatly disappointing me. But I was so excited. I was the only girl there, the only woman of any kind. There's a bunch of dudes that are like, oh my god, this girl likes Mass Effect so much that she come to the midnight release. Oh, I think I actually even, they had like some trivia questions they were asking us. I think I even answered one of those, but I don't know. I still like that sort of thing. It's fun. Although, that being said, though, I'm not one of those people who, like, camp out at Comic-Con to see a panel. Like, to me, I don't know. That's just, like, a different thing. Though people, like, wait, like, 24 hours to see something. It's like, ugh. I don't know. It's like, unless I actually get to, like, hug Jason Momoa or something at a Game of Thrones panel, I'm not about to, like, sleep outside on the sidewalk. It'd be, like 100 feet from the stage, and then you just see them on a screen anyway. I don't know. Sometimes they give them swag bags and stuff, I guess, but I'm too old and lazy for that. Midnight Doll says, one artist did all these, but they've been popular among the fan base, so there are a lot of interpretations of the songs by multiple people. Okay, cool. I'll see if I can find those. It sounds like something I'd like. So thank you for sharing. And Nico Grimmy says, Here's your drag name, McArtPop. Mika Yaluvmi. Mika, you love me. Mika, you love me? Like, make you love, I got it. Make you love me. Hey, that's pretty good. I actually like that. So Daniel says, I use digital most of the time, but I dabble in acrylic sometimes. Cool. I think it's always great to be able to go cross mediums. Be a multimedia artist. Be adaptable. Okay. I've gotten very slow on painting today. But I hope you guys had fun. Let's see. Nico says, so Emma says, my day is just starting. It's almost 11 a.m. here. So yeah, it's 11 a.m. on Wednesday for you, right? So it's like the next day. You're in the future. You're actually in the future. So Nico has, look up a song from the musical. Okay, I'll look up that animatics thing. We'll talk about that next time. I will definitely check it out. So guys, that is it for me today. I definitely have quite a bit more work to do, but we're starting to see something come through here. I'm a little rusty at this whole balancing the chat and painting, but it's always fun to catch up with you guys and see what you're working on. And I know, I feel bad actually. So right before I go, I think I had one question on, I did have a couple questions from my Instagram that I wanted to answer because they couldn't make it to the stream. So one question I had is from Pretty Lovely 37, who wants to know, how do you mix skin tones with acrylic paints? So I've answered various versions of this. a lot, but the simple answer is like mixing skin tone is no different than mixing any other color for any other object. Honestly, there's literally thousands of skin tones. People come in a huge array of skin tones, and skin tones are usually made up of various tones within them, right? Unless you're doing something super graphic. So first of all, just don't psych yourself out thinking, oh, I'm making skin tone. Just look at your photo reference and what colors are you seeing. So for example, when I was mixing Frida's skin tone, I was referencing her paintings because I kind of wanted to reference what kind of color palettes that she interpreted for her own skin tone. And also I have a great some photographs to reference as well, but she really likes to have this kind of like gold undertone, which I see quite a bit of yellow ochre. She has kind of like a yellow ochre, and then just sort of like she uses quite a bit of yellow in mixing her own skin tone, so I wanted to kind of pay tribute to that. And basically I mean, it totally depends on the skin tone of the character and the person that you're portraying. So I can't tell you specifically how to mix skin tone because there's thousands of them. So I would just do multiple tests, just have your photo reference or your color comp handy, and then just practice mixing paint to match. That's really like the best way to go about it. And you'll get faster, and you'll get more efficient at realizing you're like, okay, I need to go a little bit more white, a little bit more burnt sienna. Burnt sienna is like in most skin tones. So like when you're painting in school, that's like you're doing figure painting and whatnot, they almost always have you have a burnt sienna. I like to use raw sienna as well. I don't have one of those, but if you're just starting, a burnt sienna is a good starting point. You can also use a portrait pink, but I don't even like that title, portrait pink, because nobody is that color. Like, nobody. So, it doesn't really even get you that far. So, just use, start with a burnt sienna, black and white, maybe a little yellow ochre. Some people skin tone is cooler, so more towards the blue zone, and then some people are a lot warmer and have a lot more ruddiness in their cheeks. Some people are extremely fair, so you would have like a lot of white, a little bit of bluish lavender in there even. So just kind of practice that, but just don't psych yourself out to the thought of it being skin tone. I think that's a lot of people get hung up on that, but approach it like you're going to paint any other object. Hopefully that helps you. And as far as it being acrylic paint, that doesn't matter really. It would be the same things despite what paint you're using. Ava Nicole is not here with us today. She's usually on the stream though, but I do have this for her. She says, have you seen The Incredibles? I have not seen the new one. I have seen the old one though. I love the old one, but I haven't seen it in a long time. I probably need to brush up on it before I go see the sequel. And what is an idea you want to paint that you haven't gotten around to now that you're able to finally paint Frida? I have a pretty long list of those actually. I think I really want to go back to my Sailor Moon pieces that I was doing for a while, so that's one that I want to get back to. But I think I a couple others that another one I'm thinking about doing. You guys should chime in and let me know what you think, but I'm thinking of doing a repaint of my 3 Fates. Do you remember those? They were like little tiny purple paintings. Anyways, I still sell prints of them once in a while. They did quite well for me, but I feel like they're super outdated and like just not a demonstration of my current artistic skills or anything. So yeah, I think I might get back to do like a paint this again type of thing with that. Anyways, okay guys, well thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will try to stream again soon, and you'll see more progress on Frida, and the finished piece will launch next month. Uh-oh, what the heck? Okay. I don't know what that music is coming from.